Alright guys, how are we doing today? Steve Mingle Co. Final Web Design, and in today's video I want to talk about why it is so important to me to continue to travel while I continue to build my business and to continue to get my web skills, because I don't think I could do this if I just had one single house and I was in the same position every day. So essentially for the last, I would say 4 or 5 years, and you can see some of my other digital nomad videos, I've been more or less on the move. Right now I'm in San Andres. It's an island in the Caribbean. I've just been having a really good week I should say. It is now Monday at 4 p.m. where most people would be getting ready to close down their computers and shut down the office. I'm out here making my YouTube video about being a digital nomad web developer and the importance, I think, of continuing to gain skills as you kind of move around and keep yourself and your mind active. Now, the first thing is, growing up in Minnesota, I always really struggled with the cold and with the being inside and with the the lack of sun. So there's a huge lack of sun in Minnesota, and the winters go for about, I would say, 8 to 9 months. I wouldn't say that, I should say 6, but you got those other few months where things are pretty cold and drizzly, and it's just not as nice as something like this. I mean, this is the beginning of March, and I am essentially in what most people would call vacation or paradise. And that's the way I look at it. And I think a lot of this is helping keep myself active. I've already worked today since about 7 a.m. to about 2 p.m. I had a little bit of coffee and food in the room, and then I came out to get lunch at probably about 2. That was maybe an hour or two ago. And I'm about to go back to the apartment and finish up my day and probably work a few more hours essentially. So with that being said, I think that the ability to change up your environment and to change up your energy and the scene, and I really like to walk, so I'm a big walker because I spend so many hours on the computer, is that I'm able to kind of refresh every day and feel 100%. When I used to have an office in downtown Miami, and I was really constricted to going into that office every day, it became almost like a mental gymnastics. I'm like, why am I paying? I mean, at that time it was like maybe $1,200 a month for the office unit, which, that's not a whole ton of money for an office in downtown Miami. But there are other alternatives these days, such as Regis and WeWork and all these other type of community office situations that I can utilize much better. They have furniture, I don't have rent, I don't have to pay the building leasing and all those things that came along with having rent, utilities, internet bills, furniture. Essentially right now, I can just continue on my way. I usually will stay in the Caribbean or Central South America because I can easily get back for a couple $100. I can, stay in the same time zone. Those are the two big important things to me, is that I have to be able to get back if I do have a new client or meeting. And I also have to be able to stay in the same time zone because I deal with a lot of sales on top of my website design and development process. So those are big important things, but really with all that said, you can come down here and we're talking a fraction, probably a half to a fourth of the cost of something like living in Miami-Dade. And I can catch a flight back for $150 last minute. If I prepare ahead, I can get it for probably closer to about $75, which becomes something that is very manageable and keeps me in a position where I'm not gone, I'm just not there. So I can ultimately get back for my business responsibilities and for all the things that I need to take care of when I do get back there. So I think I have a couple other digital nomad videos out there, Mexico, Panama, maybe Colombia, I try not to make too many of these because I also feel like if my clients see these videos, I don't really want them to, I mean, it's not a big deal if they know that I'm out traveling and living life. However, kind of just out of respect for their company and their business, I prefer to just kind of keep that hush-hush. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure most of them know, and really most of them probably don't even care. I mean, everything I do is online, super responsive. I try to make sure that I'm giving 10 out of 10 projects with everything that I'm building and developing for people. So I don't think it's an issue. And ultimately, when or if they want to meet, I fly back. I take care of business. It's not like I'm trying to be on the run and never go back. That's not the situation at all. I'm trying to actually just make sure that I'm in a position mentally where I continue to work, live my best life, and, live my best life. With that being said, this didn't happen overnight. This is something that I essentially worked years before I could do. I had to get, currently a lot of my business comes because we are page 1 of Miami web design. Yes, page 1, rank 1. Sometimes it fluctuates to rank 2, but overall it's pretty consistently that it is, we can drive a lot of traffic and sales from our web design position. So I would just say that if you're thinking and you're in a position where you can make $1,000, $2,000 a month without having to go into an office, you can essentially make sure that you are able to move around a little bit, change up your scenery, and get yourself into a better set mentally to grow and to do the best absolute work that you can do. But don't get me wrong, I love Miami. I love going back to the office. I love meeting with clients. I love putting on a suit, going into an office meeting. But I can't do it every day. And I've also probably saved tens of thousands of dollars over the last several years living like this. If you know anything about Miami-Dade, we're talking $3,000 to $5,000 a month type rents. Pretty easily if you want to be in any of the decent or nicer areas and neighborhoods with like modern utilities and modern business structure. That's a lot of money. You can live down here like something like this. I mean, if you do like a month-long rental, we're probably talking closer to $700 to $800 for the month. The utilities are going to be significantly less. If you need to get a taxi or if you need to ultimately get some type of, mode of transportation, it's very cheap. I don't sit in traffic. I mean, there are so many benefits. I mean, I'm just out here sweating, but all this sun is good for me. Getting this sweat out of my body is good for me. Being able to take these walks when I need to clear my mind helps ensure that I build the best products for my clients. So guys, with that being said, I advise you, if you're trying to get into this industry, because I think now more than ever it's a good time to start trying to get a few small clients and work independently if you can. You only need a few to be able to be in a position where you can do this, depending on how much they're paying you every month. And also get them on some type of residual payment structure. Something where every month, if they want your service, they're already billed automatically. That's the best part. Yesterday was the first, or 2 days ago, I wake up and everybody's been billed. And by everybody being billed, I don't have to worry if their money's gonna be there. Because I put everybody on a structured plan. That's my business model. Residual is everything, I say. Residual payments is the most important payments. So if you're looking at getting in the web industry, tech industry, it's a great time. I think even though there have been a lot of jet layoffs and there's been a lot of issues as far as, what the job market is looking like, ultimately it doesn't really matter, because if you have your own business, if you have your own clients, it's irrelevant. So guys, I just say with that, if you're thinking about trying to get into this lifestyle, if you're thinking about trying to make yourself some type of employment digitally where you can move around, there's never been a better time than now. Because we're going into 2025, and essentially everything these days is on the internet. So keep practicing, get your skills up, build your first few clients, make sure you're doing everything by the book, you're incorporated, you're paying your taxes, and you don't need that much to survive. And while you're not in that 9 to 5, you're able to take more time to ensure that you're building up your own business, your own website, your own SEO, your own blogs like these. All this information that is so important to businesses in 2025 and to SEO practices. So guys, if that intrigues you, let me know. Leave a comment, leave a like, that helps. Leave a subscription, that helps. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll catch you in the next one.